Welcome to another exciting weekend of Formula One. Today's practice session takes place at the venue of the very first Formula One World Championship Grand Prix. We're here at Silverstone. Anthony Davidson, you've driven this circuit more than a few times in your career, and you've been around long enough to remember the pre-wing layout as well. But how do you like Silverstone in its current guise?
Well, the old circuit was a lot of fun, of course, but I do like the current layout. The reprofiled Abbey is faster than it used to be, and I always felt it was missing a sort of slow technical section. And now the corners up at Village and the Loop gives us that. So yeah, I'm a fan, and on top of that, I think it's created some more overtaking opportunities.
Carl probably mentioned the new parts that have come in from the factory. Well, they're all fitted and good to go. I hope they do the trick.
What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to F1 2019 career mode. Here today for the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. One of my favourite tracks on the calendar, to be brutally honest. I absolutely love it. But anyway, practice one went fairly swimmingly, so let's go and talk to Claire.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. I think it's great how much your team has been focused on developing your car.
Well, I don't really know how to answer that. Thanks, I guess. I suppose that's a normal response. Kind of. Maybe.
How do you feel this season is going for you? Is the car competitive?
Well, considering we've had 2 podiums and we have finished in the points every race, I definitely think so.
Appreciate your time.
Alright, thank you very much for being a pain in the backside like normal, Claire. But anyway, we won't worry about that, will we? Anyway, fairly decent haul of resource points from practice 1. I think we passed every program apart from qualifying pace, I think. 703 resource points now, so looking pretty good so far. We'll go on to practice 2 and we're going to have another crack at the qualifying pace. I actually put well, not a full time trial setup, but pretty close to a full time trial spec setup on. And as you can see, it worked a treat. We don't get the purple score, but we do pass the qualifying pace program on 110 AI. First time I think we've actually done that, or no, we did it back at Monaco, I think, by memory as well. So the second time we've done it so far. So this weekend, the hope is to at least get out of qualifying 1. A Q3 spot obviously would be something really special, considering how damn difficult 110 AI is. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, I recommend you go check those out, because basically every single one from Canada up to right now has been a comeback drive from the back, basically. So hopefully we can turn that around and start near the front this time, and hopefully we can have a good race. But we can't get ahead of ourselves just yet. We've got to get through qualifying. So without further ado, let's go to qualifying for the British Grand Prix.
It's time once again then for qualifying here at Silverstone, on what we're hoping will be a tight contest for pole position. Drivers tend to complain about tyre wear around this track, and the compounds on offer this weekend aren't likely to put that issue to bed. Is this going to be about who can make the tyres last?
Tyre wear is always something you have to consider to a certain degree. Finding a good car balance that suits the circuit will help prolong the life of the tyre, but it's true that some circuits, such as this one, are more challenging than others. How hard you can push them depends on your strategy and how tight the battle is around you.
Alright, here we are, guys, in the garage of the British Grand Prix here for qualifying 1. We're going out at the start of the session to set a banker lap. I got to admit, after making a few setup changes, the car actually felt really nice, especially through the Maggots and Beckett's section. We were actually one of the fastest in the entire field, if you can believe it. But first run, we come across the line, puts us P8 on a 127.8, I think that was, right behind Ricardo. And looking at the times, I feel like that's actually good enough to get us through. So we're going to fast forward to the end of the session. We're still in the top 10 at the moment, P9. So I think we should be safe. Fast forwarding to the end, and there we go. We have got out. We do have a grid penalty as well, unfortunately. I think we've taken a new gearbox for this race by memory. So that's a little bit unfortunate. We do have a 5th-place grid penalty for the race. But it is really good to see that when we nail a lap and we've got the car hooked up really well.
We've got a situation at the moment. Seems like something's off with the fuel injection system. We're looking into it, but we're going to be out of action for a few minutes.
And okay then. I was wondering why I was just about to get cut off, and there we go. We have a fault that is effectively going to wipe out half of the session, so this is exactly what you want, isn't it? So anyway, we skipped over the repair time, and now we've come out right at the end of the session on the last new set of soft compound tyres to go for a blast. And could we maybe, just maybe, get into qualifying 3? We've run out of ERS up to the line. It's been a pretty decent lap, and we go P9. Is that going to be enough? We're basically right on the bubble, but as we cut to the end, we are through into Q3. Get in there. Daniel Ricciardo making it through as well in P8. So once again, we're still behind our teammate. Seems to be a bit of a common theme at the moment ever since we turned it up to 110 AI ever since Monaco. Have we out-qualified Daniel? No, I don't think we have. I think he's out-qualified us every single race since Monaco. So we might need to get a bit of a wriggle on, and hopefully we might be able to beat him in Q3, but still, things are looking very good. I was confident that I would have been able to get out of Q1. I definitely was not confident in getting through to Q3, so that came as a real big surprise. But I think through here is where we're really strong, because as you can see, we just throw the car through Maggots and Beckett's, and as you can see, we're purple to the second sector, so we're the fastest car in the middle part of the racetrack, faster than the Mercedes, Ferrari, absolutely everybody. Probably lose a little bit of time through there. There's probably maybe 2 tenths in that corner if we had nailed it. But overall, I feel like the lap has been pretty good. No mistakes as we come up to the line. Are we going to beat our teammate? I think we got P8. Yes. The big question, have we out-qualified Daniel Ricciardo? I've got my fingers crossed. Have we finally done it on 110? Yes, we have. Get in there, son. We have beaten our fellow Australian here at the British Grand Prix in Q3. So we will start P12 or P13, I think, due to the grid penalty, but that is still really cool to get one up on Daniel Ricciardo in qualifying. We out-qualify our new rival Sergio Perez as well, so real good start to the weekend. Pace seems pretty strong, so let's go and see what we can do in the race, and who knows, could we get best of the rest? Could we maybe snag a top 5? Could we do something unreal and grab a podium? Let's go and find out.
So, unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties, and we'll be starting further back than you expect. As for how bad it is, that'll depend on what the other drivers get.
The pain of parting is nothing to the joy of meeting again. And how joyous indeed it is to be back at Silverstone once more for the British Grand Prix. The queues to get in this morning extended miles back down the A43, such as the enthusiasm for Formula One in this country. Silverstone circuit then. It's 3.6 miles long and has a total of 18 corners. And of course, is no stranger to the rain. There won't be any DRS available in these conditions, but the Wellington and Hangar Straights are still good opportunities to tuck into the slipstream and make a pass. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we get things rolling by talking about George Russell? There's a new gearbox in the back of that car, which means a grid penalty, and hopefully some excitement as they make their way through the field.
Well, at the end of the day, it's always better to take some pain now than parking it up halfway through the Grand Prix. Let's just hope they can put that new gearbox to good use and get the results they're looking for.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for For today's race, good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Butler, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Verstappen, Weber, Ricciardo, Norris and Kimi Raikkonen. Perez, Lee, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Carlos Sainz and Stroll, Giovinazzi, Albon, Daniel Kvyat and Robert Kubica, Grosjean and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, this is the team's home race. We're all relying on you to impress today.
Alright, we will try and do so, and I don't know if it's just me, but I always thought Renault was French. So how can the British Grand Prix be a home race? But anyway, yeah, that's confusing. Anyway, welcome guys to the grid for the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. Intermediate conditions for the entire race. It's going to be our first full wet race basically that we've had on the game, I think. Yeah, first full wet race. We did have some rain I think last time out in Austria. It was heavy rain and we were still on the intermediates, so that was kind of interesting to note, but we're all on intermediates again, only light rainfall set for the entire race, so be interesting to see how things pan out, shall we say, from, where were we again, P12 on the grid. So gearbox penalty kind of hurt us a little bit, but I'd rather drop 4 or 5 spots than lose a gear during the race. But anyway, on the grid, awaiting 5 red lights for the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone, and away we go. Pretty average start, it must be said, compared to Leo. Perez gets a real good start. He's going to drive alongside Kimi Raikkonen. We got Carlos Sainz on our outside. Perez, Raikkonen still going side by side ahead of us. Can we potentially try and pick some of these guys off? We're going to send it up the inside. Raikkonen's still there on our left hand side. We understeer into him a little bit. And that is P10 almost. Ricciardo just ahead of us. And he's going side by side with, I think that's Lando Norris. The spray actually makes it quite hard to see. And we're going to potentially try to shape up a move on Norris. We go to the right, we go to the left. There is no room really either way. I didn't want to go for a massive dive straight away and maybe take one of us out, or both of us, or take Ricciardo as well if something went really wrong, which in the rain, the possibility of that happening just skyrockets compared to the dry. But anyway, we've settled into the race now on the lap 3. We're having a go at Lando Norris on the back straight, up the inside, and there we go, up to P9. Next up is our teammate Danny Rick, so hopefully we'll be able to catch him up and dispense of him pretty quickly. Cutting on the lap 4, we're going to go up the inside. He defends pretty aggressively, I'm not going to lie, but he's entitled to. I mean, I'd do the same thing to him, and you know, all's fair in love and war in gamesmanship and whatever. So yeah, anyway, we get the move done. That's up to P8. Let's focus back on the race now instead of talking about random gobbledygook. We have a virtual safety car here on lap 10. I think this is for one of the Williams. I'm not 100% sure. Yes, it is. George Russell is out of his home race. Maybe an engine failure. A bit hard to see with the spray, obviously, but I think that is an engine failure. I think that's smoke, not water coming out of the back of the Williams. But anyway, Russell retires from his home Grand Prix. He will be devastated by that, no doubt. But anyway, virtual safety car is ending, and we are going to go back to green flag running. And next on our hit list is our old F2 teammate Lucas Weber in the Haas. This is effective best of the rest as well. The top 6 are in another league of their own. Weber is not too far behind actually, and we're still just hanging on to him. But as you can see, on the lap 13, we decide coming to the pits. I think we're actually scheduled in last lap. I can't remember for certain. I've recorded a few career mode episodes ahead, so I'm kind of, yeah, short-term memory loss regards what happened. Red Bull gets held in the pits there. I think that's Max Verstappen. He gets held quite badly. Hopefully we don't. And there we go. We actually did a pretty damn quick pit stop. 2.1. So nice work from the guys. Max Verstappen directly ahead of us. And I believe Lucas Weber has actually jumped Max Verstappen as well. A bit hard to see up through the spray, but I think that is Lucas just ahead of the Red Bull. So Weber, well, not only retaining his lead over us, has now, overtaken the Red Bull in the pits. But a couple of laps afterwards, or, well, a couple of corners afterwards by memory, I think, Max blew back past the Haas, and that was the end of that. Anyway, on to lap 17 now. We're right on the back of Lucas Weber. We're going to go for a big boy dive at the end of the backstraight, but we're not going to be able to pull it up. We don't have that much grip. Run off the road, and Lucas gets back by. I felt like I honestly had to go for the move, because at the end of the first stint, I felt like when we started to just lose a little bit of grip, I felt like Weber really started to actually pull away from us a little bit, so I wanted to try and get this move done. As you can see, side by side into Maggots Beckett's Chapel. That is not a place where you want to be running side by side. Thankfully we avoid contact, no damage to either car. How the hell we managed that, I'm not sure. But now we're going to go up the inside of our former F2 teammate, and we should hopefully get the move done this time. Pull it up, hit the apex, still run a little bit wide, and I think he might actually have a go at us. We're going to go defensive a little bit. He tries around the outside, but we should just hold him off, and we do. Only barely, but we do, and that is P7 here in the British Grand Prix. Jeez, what a hairy couple of moments, but we can't rest. On lap 21, Lucas up the inside into turn 1. I'm not used to the AI overtaking there, to be honest. It's not really an overtaking spot normally, but Lucas up the inside. And there we go. As you can see, I just gassed it up trying to get traction from the rear tyres, and they just didn't want to bar it. Lit up the rear tyres, and that probably threw away a chance to get Lucas back. But rich fuel mixture overtake mode on the area, so I'm umming and ahhing which way we're going to go. We're going to go around the outside of Lucas. Can we potentially make this work? That is so close. Wheel to wheel. Great racing between the former teammates, and we have the inside. We should hopefully get this move done. I think we do, yes. Lucas really putting up a good fight here in this British Grand Prix, and he's not done again, looking up the inside. Oh, I was honestly going to turn in there anyway, so I'm glad he didn't. But on the lap 22, now he's trying the other way, around the outside, and he actually gets the move done this time around the old turn 1. So fair play. We're going to send it up the inside again. And the main reason I was actually doing this is not really to try and pass, but because the AI actually seemed to be pretty strong and I couldn't really get close enough. So what I wanted to do is I actually wanted to disturb their flow so I could try and get real close, and then we'll try and do this for what, the third or fourth time in this race. Around the outside, he's still there. I think might have touched. We ran off the road a little bit, but no harm done. Maybe looking for a move around the outside, but no can do this time around. Little bit of, we're losing grip, must be said. No traction on the rear end. Lucas now right behind us. Again, I probably should have actually gone up into overtake mode on the ARS, and he just barges his way through. Back up into P7 on to lap 23 now. We're going to have another go at Lucas. We send it down the inside, and we get the move done again, but we run a little bit wide. That's going to compromise us as we run through this right-hander, and Lucas is back up our inside. Does he have the traction to stay there? He's still there. The arrow is still red. I was about to come across, but I saw it at the last moment. And man, oh man, is this guy putting up a real big fight for 7th place here at Silverstone. In lap 24, again, he's coming back at us. We can't get away from him. But anyway, we're on off the road again, and we are starting to actually lose quite a bit of grip now. Tyres are going off quite badly. And at this point, I actually felt if I didn't get him at the end of the back straight, then he would actually start to pull away. That was evident to me as soon as we run through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel right there. Just the grip that he had. And as you can see, coming on to lap 26. Exactly what I thought would happen, and it did happen. Lucas scarpered away up the road a little bit. I tried to reel him back in, but we just didn't have enough for him. So Lucas is going to come across the line in P7 in the Haas for Bessel arrest. But us, it's been a pretty good drive, pretty solid recovery from P12. So all in all, pretty good weekend.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
It's a heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and have the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place here today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So there we go, guys. That has been the British Grand Prix today, here for round number 10 in Silverstone, or at Silverstone. That didn't come out the right way anyway. Lewis Hamilton wins his home Grand Prix from Valtteri Bottas, Charles Leclerc on the podium. So undoubtedly those three will be pretty happy. But for us, pretty good day. So let's go and talk to Claire.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. There wasn't much between you and Lucas by the finish today.
No, there wasn't. It was very close, but didn't quite have enough for him.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Drive the wheels off it and hope it sticks, and for the most part, it did.
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
Well, I don't think it really affected it.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Claire. I was kind of a bit rushed on that final question. I didn't really pay all that much attention, but I don't really think it affected the race in a bad way. But anyway, we are level on points with the rivalry against Perez. We're leading the rivalry against Ricciardo, so that's always good. Hopefully if we win the rivalry again, that should give us a solid amount of resource points. But speaking of the resource points, 404. So we get 703, we fail the objective, so that's a little bit disappointing. That could have been a reasonable haul of resource points, but still, pretty good weekend.
Excellent result today. Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews. On to the next one.
Indeed, thank you very much. Alright, so there we have it, guys. That has been episode number 10, here today for the British Grand Prix. I hope you enjoyed watching. As always, I really do love making these videos, so I hope everyone's enjoying watching them. We've got a tyre wear upgrade. That should hopefully go on the car next episode, so hopefully that should make things just a little bit easier for us. Changing a few components and whatnot, but anyway, we won't worry about that too much. But thank you guys for tuning in as always. I hope you enjoy. Remember, leave a like, subscribe, stay tuned for plenty more. And until the next episode, the German Grand Prix, I'll catch you guys next time.